Welcome to today's market report. European stock markets are seen opening in a mixed fashion on Friday as investors grapple with conflicting reports involving US stimulus, while the surging the number of coronavirus cases threatened the global economic recovery. The DAX futures traded 0.1% lower, CAC 40 dropped 0.3%, FTSE 100 rose 0.1%. In a letter to US Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell released late on Thursday, US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin requested the reappropriation of some $455 billion allocated to the Treasury under the CARES Act earlier in the year, potentially ending the central bank's relief programs. The Fed swiftly responded by issuing its own statement urging that the full suite of facilities be kept in place. This was the first serious sign of discord between the top two US economic policymakers, and comes just after jobless claims rose for the first time in 5 weeks, as restrictions put in place to combat the ongoing surge in COVID-19 cases halted the recovery in the country's labour market. That said, investors will have been buoyed by the news overnight that Republican Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had agreed to revive talks to craft a new fiscal relief package. European Central Bank President Lagarde promised a forceful monetary stimulus package for December while speaking to a European Parliament committee on Thursday. She also urged governments to make pandemic relief available without delay, as the euro area economy is likely to be hit hard by the fallout from the rapid increase in infections and restrictions. On the economic data slate, UK retail sales climbed 1.2% in October on a month, as country's consumers proved more resilient than expected. Oil prices were largely unchanged on Friday despite concerns about demand growth, given the growing number of coronavirus cases and signs of a slowdown in the US labour market. US crude futures traded flat at $41.90 per barrel. Brent contract rose 0.1% to $44.25 per barrel, both remaining well above the $40 mark after the gains earlier in the week on the back of vaccine optimism. Gold futures rose 0.2% to $1,864.90 per ounce. On the FX front, GBP/USD clings to gains near 132.80 region, moves little post UK retail sales data. Both seemed rather affected by persistent Brexit-related uncertainties. Cable managed to regain some positive traction on the last day of the week and built on the previous day's goodish bounce of around 65 pips from sub-132 level. The uptick was sponsored by the emergence of some fresh selling around the US dollar, following the US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin's decision to end pandemic relief funding for struggling businesses. With regards to Brexit plans, the lack of progress on key sticking points, the so-called level playing field, fishing rights and state aid rules, and stalled in-person Brexit talks did little to prompt any selling around the GBP/USD pair. The retail sales figures seem supportive to the cable pair, however remains to be seen if bulls can capitalize on the move or the GBP/USD pair struggles to move back above the 133 mark as investors await Brexit-related updates. This makes it prudent to wait for some strong follow-through buying before traders start positioning for any further near-term appreciating move, possibly towards mid-133s. Euro-dollar extends the consolidative fashion on Friday as the pair once again prolongs the rangebound trade at the end of the week and always below the 119 mark, which has become a solid obstacle for any serious bullish attempts in past sessions. investors continue to look past the pandemic and favor the glass half full vision, always on the back of rising hopes of an attractive vaccine in the short-term horizon, which at the same time reignite the idea of a V-shaped recovery in the euro area and the rest of the world. Dark clouds for the single currency have started to emerge on the horizon, however pari passu with the potential re-emergence of political effervescence in the old continent, with the EU Recovery Fund and the Hungarian and the Polish vetoes in the center of the debate. The inability of surpassing the 119 area in the near term carries the potential to motivate sellers to return to the market and sponsor a new corrective downside. The US dollar edged higher in early European trade on Friday in tight ranges as traders digest a potential rift between Mnuchin and the Fed Reserve. The dollar index was up 0.1% at 92.325. This is today's market news. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.